The world trembles, not from a quake in the earth, but from the deep, resonant breathing of a god who has just finished its meal. From the thorny shelter of the acacia grove, the clan watches. They are small things in this age of titans, a band of Homo Erectus whose greatest strength is the patience born of terror. For 2 days, the scent of blood has been a promise and a warning on the wind, pulling them forward, a siren's call from the plains of this ancient earth. Before them lies the saucer mountain of flesh, the fallen form of an Argentinosaurus. Its body is a new feature of the landscape, a grey ridge of hide and bone so vast it seems to have grown from the ground itself. Its long neck is a broken causeway leading to a head the size of their winter shelter, its eye a clouded, unseeing moon. The massive vertebrae of its spine rise from the carcass like the standing stones of a forgotten religion. This is life. A lifetime of life. Meat for every belly, marrow for the old, sinew for bindings, and hide to shield them from the merciless sun. It is a gift from the sky, a bounty that could sustain them through the dry season and beyond. But the gift has a guardian. 50 paces from the sauropod's gargantuan flank lies the victor, the carver of this mountain. The Giganotosaurus. It rests in the shade of its own kill, gut swollen, its cavernous mouth agape as it pants in the heat. Flies, thick as a shimmering black cloth, swarm its serrated, blade-like teeth, the terrible signature of the great Argentinosaurus lineage. Its breathing is a slow, rhythmic bellows that seems to pull the very air from the clan's lungs. It is the architect of their potential salvation and their most certain death. This is the brutal reality of their existence, a world where one creature's end is another's beginning, a cycle written in blood and bone. Terake, the clan's eldest hunter, lies flat, his chin raw from the grit. He is not a hero, merely the one who has survived the longest. His mind, the crucible of hominid history, is a tapestry of skulls and near misses. He watches the killer's chest rise and fall. He watches the sun's slow march across the sky. He feels the hunger gnawing at his own people, sees it in the sunken eyes of the young mother clutching her child, in the tremor of a boy's hand on his first stone axe. A pair of score biovenator jackals in dinosaur sky dart and faint at the edges of the kill, only to be driven back by a casual rumbling growl from the resting giant. The great beast is possessive. It will not share. The hard choice is a palpable thing, a weight in the air between them. They can retreat, fading back into the scrubland to hunt the fleeting, bony things that offer no real sustenance, a path to slow starvation, or they can gamble everything on this single, monumental opportunity. They can try to claim a piece of the fallen god while its slayer sleeps. Terake makes a low gesture, a sweep of his hand. It means circle. The clan understands. They are not lions, they are ants, and ants must work together or be crushed. The future of these ancient humans will be decided not by a roar, but by a whisper and a desperate, coordinated scuttle across the killing ground. The movement is a silent language of survival. Each hunter, each gatherer, becomes a shadow flowing between the low bushes. There are no words, only the flick of a wrist, the tilt of a head. They spread out, a loose crescent moon of weary bodies, their goal not the predator but the leeward flank of the dead titan, where the wind carries their scent away. The sun beats down, baking the blood on the ground into a dark crust. The air is thick with the iron tang of death and the drone of a billion flies. As they move, they pass one of the sauropod's legs, an immense pillar of flesh and bone. Its toenails are the size of river stones. The sheer scale is an assault on the senses, a core lesson in the prehistoric world about their own insignificance. One of the younger hunters, a boy named Kale, stumbles, and the sound of a dislodged pebble is like a thunderclap in the suffocating silence. The Giganotosaurus shifts its weight, a sound like grinding rock, and a low growl rumbles from its chest. The clan freezes, becoming one with the earth, their hearts a frantic drumming against their ribs. After a moment that stretches into an eternity, the great carnivore settles again. They reach the wound. It is a canyon of flesh carved into the sauropod's side, a gaping maw where the predator's teeth tore through the meter-thick hide. The blood is still weeping, dark and slow. This is their door. Terake is the first to enter the breach. He plants his feet in the gore and pulls himself up. His flint axe a useless trinket against this scale. Inside, the world changes. The sun is gone, replaced by a deep, crimson twilight filtering through the thin membranes between the colossal ribs. The air is hot, rank, and suffocating. They are inside the beast. The clan follows a procession of ghosts slipping into a cavern of meat. They stand within the thoracic cavity, dwarfed by the architecture of life. The ribs curve high above them, a gruesome but perfect dome, a Rickbridge cathedral. Here, protected from the watching eyes of the carnivore, the real work begins. The putrefaction has not yet set in, but the clock is ticking. Their old tools, the chipped stones and sharpened sticks that define their ancient tools arsenal, are failing. The hide is too tough, the tendons like iron cables. Frustration mounts, a dangerous spark in the hot dark space. It is Elara, a woman whose hands are usually busy with weaving gut and scraping hide, who finds the solution. She sees a splintered section of rib, a shard longer than her arm, and with a grunt, she Terra snap it free. Using a heavy stone, Terra begins to work the edge, chipping and grinding, not with the finesse of flint knapping, but with brutal, focused necessity. The bone splinters, but then an edge appears, jagged and sharp. It cuts, it tears. This is a revelation, a leap forward in their primitive technology born from the belly of the beast itself. Soon others follow, breaking bones, sharpening femurs into levers and scapulae into broad scrapers. They are inventing on the fly, crafting a new arsenal from the very thing they seek to conquer. This is the genesis of their osteodontokeratic technology, a new chapter of human evolution written in a charnel house. As they work, a deep tremor runs through the entire carcass. The Giganotosaurus is awake and curious. It nudges the mountain of flesh, and the great ribs around the clan groaned. They are safe for now, but they are trapped in a fortress whose walls are also the prize, and the jailer is testing the bars. The work becomes a frantic rhythm, a counterpoint to the slow, methodical circling of the beast outside. Daylight and darkness are measured by the shifting red light filtering through the gargantuan ribs. Sleep is a stolen thing, taken in short, exhausted bursts, leaning against walls of meat. The sounds from outside are their new reality, the scrape of the Giganotosaurus' claws on stone, the wet tearing as it rips another mouthful from the sauropod's neck, the earth shaking thud of its footsteps. It is a constant, psychological war. The carnivore knows they are inside. Its small, intelligent eyes, glimpsed through a fissure in the hide, burn with a cold, reptilian patience. Its circles, testing, occasionally ramming the carcass with its massive head, a siege tactic that sends tremors through their macabre sanctuary. The younger ones whimper, their primal fear a constant presence. But the clan works on, their desperation a more powerful fuel than courage. This is a crucial moment in the long chronicle of early humans, a testament to the resilience of our human ancestors. They carve deeper, creating a network of tunnels and chambers within the colossal body. The heart, a chamber larger than any of their home caves, is removed piece by piece, its tough muscle providing lean, enduring protein. They follow the great arteries, natural corridors leading them to caches of unimaginable richness. The liver, a dark, glistening prize, is harvested for its vital nutrients. Every part is a discovery, a new application of their burgeoning osteodontokeratic technology. Ribs become roof beams for smaller shelters within the main cavity, holding scraped hides that cure in the hot, stagnant air. But their greatest innovation comes from the fat. Layers of it, thick as a man's chest, line the inner walls. It is a treasure trove of energy. Terra and Delara devise a system. They pack the rendered fat, the tallow, into hollowed-out vertebrae, stuffing them with dried moss to create crude, long-burning lamps. For the first time, they have reliable light in the darkness, a flicker of humanity in a tomb of their own making. But as their bounty grows, so due to inescapable threats. The stench of decay, the unavoidable scent of putrefaction begins to rise, a sweet, cloying odor that clings to their skin and signals the end of their prize. The other threat is the great predator's waning patience. Its nudges become more violent, its roars more frequent and frustrated. It knows its kill is being stolen from within. The hard choice is upon them once more. Yet not enough to abandon. It is Kale, the boy who nearly betrayed them with a clumsy step, who provides the spark. He watches the smoke from their tallow lamps rise, noting how it irritates the eyes and throat. An idea forms, a desperate, audacious gamble that could only be conceived in such a place. He approaches Terra K not with the timidity of a boy, but with the focused intensity of a survivor. He speaks of the tallow, of the smoke, of the great beast sensitive knows its powerful olfactory senses. He proposes not to fight the monster, but to make their fortress, their world, unbearable to it. They will use the monster's own body against it. They will create a fire, a great smudging, a wall of acrid smoke so dense, so offensive, that it will drive the hunter from its own kill, an act of defiance that will echo through the story of hominid history. It is a plan born of intellect, a flicker of pure human genius against the brute force that defines their prehistoric world. They will not just steal the mountain, they will claim it. The final day is inside the carcass, or a blur of feverish activity. The clan moves with a singular purpose, a hive mind forged in darkness and necessity. Under Ilara's direction, the women and younger hunters render vast quantities of tallow, boiling the fat down in makeshift clay pots reinforced with sauropod sinew. The air grows thick and greasy, a haze that coats their skin and fills their lungs. Hauled into the carcass during the predator's brief absences at a distant waterhole. Kale and Terra K oversee the most task. They use their sharpened bone axes to widen fissures in the upper portions of the sauropod's hide, creating crude chimneys that will direct the smoke outwards. The work is punctuated by the Giganotosaurus' escalating fury. It now attacks the carcass with terrifying regularity. Its roars are no longer warnings but expressions of pure rage. It bites and tears at the hide, ripping away huge sections and briefly flooding their crimson world with blinding sunlight. During these moments, they freeze like mice under the gaze of a hawk, praying the beast's attention is on the exterior, not the parasites within. The moment comes on the third night. They pile the fuel high near the great wound that serves as their entrance, a mound of moss, tallow-soaked leaves. Unsplintered bone, Terra K holds the fired reel, a simple stick and half born from ancient knowledge. He looks at his clan, their faces illuminated by the flickering tallow lamps. They are gaunt, terrified, and smeared with gore and grease, but their eyes reflect the flames with a shared resolve. This is more than a survival tactic. It is an act of transformation, an assertion of will against a world that has only ever demanded their submission. He begins to spin the drill, faster and faster, a prayer in motion. A wisp of smoke appears, then a tiny ember. Elara gently transfers it to a ball of dry fungus, blowing on it, until it glows red and bursts into flame. A quiet cheer, a release of unbearable tension, echoes through the cavern of rib. They light the mound. The effect is immediate and overwhelming. A thick, acrid smoke billows upwards, not the clean smoke of a wood fire, but a foul, greasy smog born of burning fat and damp vegetation. It pours out of the wound and the newly cut chimneys, wrapping the entire Argentinosaurus carcass in a choking shroud. Outside, they hear a sound of confusion from the Giganotosaurus, a low, questioning rumble, carrying the dense cloud directly towards the predator's resting place. There is a series of enraged snorts, then a furious roar that is cut short by a fit of violent coughing. The great dinosaur stumbles back, its massive head shaking as it tries to clear its lungs. The clan inside listens, their world trembling with the beast's distress. It is a war of attrition fought with the most ephemeral of weapons, scent and air. The beast roars again, a sound of pure frustration and pain. It charges the carcass one last time, not with hunger but with fury, striking a blow that nearly collapses a section of the ribcage. But the smoke is relentless, an invisible wall. The Giganotosaurus, a creature that has never known fear, only dominance, is defeated by an enemy it cannot see or bite. It backs away, coughing and drawing its frustration at the uncaring stars. Finally, with a last defeated cry, it turns and retreats, its heavy footsteps fading into the darkness of the plain. Silence descends, broken only by the crackle of their smudge fire. The clan of Homo Erectus stands in the suffocating smoke of their fortress, their lungs burning, their eyes streaming, but victorious. They have not just survived, They have tamed the monster's kill and in doing so have carved out a new and defined place for themselves in this prehistoric world, a testament to the dawn of human ingenuity. Embosomed echoes. They live beside the mountain of rotting flesh for another moon, carving and drying the last of the meat under the watchful, the now distant eyes of circling pterosaurs. The Giganotosaurus does not return. The memory of the acrid smoke, a phantom threat created by beings a fraction of its size, has rewritten the landscape of its mind. The clan is changed forever. Their osteodontokeratic technology is now a refined art. They possess a surplus of food that frees their minds to think beyond the next sunrise, a crucial step in the long march of human evolution. They are no longer just reacting to their world, they are beginning to shape it. This single act of collective intelligence, a desperate gamble in the belly of a dead god, becomes a foundational story whispered around fires for generations to come. It is the moment the clever hands and cooperative spirit of our human ancestors prove that even the greatest strength can be undone by a sufficiently brilliant idea. It is a brutal lesson unlearned a million years ago that still echoes in our DNA. How our species' audacious journey began not with the strength to fell a god, but with the courage and intellect to steal its corpse from a monster and claim it as our own. This is the chronicle of the Shadow Walkers, the whispers in the dark, the ancestors who learned that in a world of titans, the greatest weapon is not the spear but the mind. And on the distant salt flats, another clan watches a different kind of titanfall, not from the sky, but from the sea,